My name is Kevin Kraussler, and I'm a registered clinical counselor.
So our theme today is mental health. What does that bring up for you?
A lot of things, but in particular to what I'll be speaking about, it makes me think of the environment in which people find themselves and that contributing to mental health issues or mental health in general. I think that in our culture, there's a big focus on the individual and placing the onus for mental health struggles on individual people rather than circumstances and the environment in which we find ourselves.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with you on that. I was just given a vision going back to when I was a child. I grew up in Strathcona and Chinatown, so I was surrounded by predominantly Asian children.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was relocated to the North Shore, and I was the only Chinese person in my grade. Mm-hmm. And like a shift like that. So it went from an inclusive environment to an exclusive environment.
Right.
And now, how do I now that whole desire to be accepted? It's painful.
Right. And it can have really profound changes on an individual based on just the place that they happen to be and the people that they happen to be surrounded with.
Yes. And I agree with you that the environment is often overlooked, and it's like it's you're the issue.
Right.
But what did I do?
Yeah. And also, I think so much of the concerns that we have are shaped by like the values and the beliefs and the culture of the people that we happen to be surrounded by, which impacts the way that we view the world and the way that we view ourselves, which then impacts all of our relationships with everyone in our life.
So how does that? What the work I do is to help people with the narrative. So the stories and the stories turn into filters.
That's the work I do. We do the same work.
And then the filters really skew the perception of what's happening, because it's either we don't see what we want to see, or we're seeing only what we want to see and filter everything else out. Is that something that can be can society in general address that, or are we kind of conditioned that our environment is our environment and everyone just plays along with that?
Well, I think what I see as being within the individual sphere of control is acknowledging and kind of taking ownership of the stories that we've been given, and then being able to make a choice about whether or not we want to continue with that story. Does that story serve us? Is there maybe something else that we would prefer instead?
And when we become aware of that, I'm going to guess for many there's going to be trepidation to take that step, because it's definitely out of your comfort zone. As dysfunctional as the comfort zone is, to now break free of that is scary.
It can be, yeah, for a lot of folks.
So for those who are suffering and are going, wow, I want to get some help. I want to reach out, but there's that resistance. What would you have to offer them as guidance?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that if there's something about the way that life is going, or the way that you're finding this human experience that is not working for you, I think our intuition can tell us a lot. And if people just sort of like listen within themselves, like, is this working for me? Like, is there something about the way that I'm going about living my life that isn't actually conducive to me obtaining the things that I want to get or being the person that I feel like deep down that I want to be, then I think that's all the information that you need in order to make that next step about seeking help.